In English, blue is one of the basic colors spanning the whole spectrum between light and dark blues. It means that if an English speaker would be shown a collection of randomly colored items and asked to name the color of each one of them, no distinction would be made between light and dark blues. All of them would just be called blue. This does not mean that a Brit would not observe the difference between these blues. It means that for convenience, they are all called the same. Greek, on the other hand, have two basic colors for what an English speaker would call blue: galasio for light blue and ble for dark blue. This means that a Greek presented with a collection of randomly colored items and asked to name their colors will always identify light blues as galasio and dark blues as ble. So what do we do with this?
We set out to see whether these colors would be discriminated better in the Greek participants than the English participants. We tested in the same lab, in the same conditions, and we used an index from the brain which responds automatically to a change of color. So basically, it's a response from the brain that is pre-verbal. It happens so fast. It's within 200 milliseconds, 1/5 of a second of the color appearing. It's very, very fast. It's before sophisticated language representations are accessed in the brain. We had two shapes. We had circles and squares. And the participants are asked to press a button when they see a square. It's one of the most boring experiments you will ever see in your life. So you press a button when you see a square. And the circles could change color from time to time. But it's impossible to predict when, but they could change color. But when it was a square, it could also be of different colors, blue, light blue, or dark blue. But the important thing was that the participants was focusing on the shape. They were completely ignoring the color, and we have reasons to think that they didn't care about the color because it was irrelevant. And they don't even remember that the circles actually changed color because they were not paying attention to that. But the interesting thing is that that change of color in the circle was what triggered the response from the brain, which is completely automatic and pre-verbal. We saw that the color distinction, the response to the color difference in the brain of the Greek participants was twice as big for a blue contrast than for a green contrast between the same shades, the same lightness difference. Whereas in English participants, the two were identical. And that was a predicted effect. We thought that would actually happen if the language, the labels, would affect their color perception. And that's exactly what we found.